Hello, everybody. This is Tofi and Lynn. Welcome back. We missed you all. It has been a long time. We didn't connect through Zoom for our bi-weekly Saving Souls Women's Network meeting. Hello, Lynn. Lynn is here. Hello, sweetheart. You can see me?
I can see you. I'm just not putting my picture on.
Okay. I will let you. Yeah, it's 12:55. Lasita, I'm sure she will join us first.
Okay.
In 5 minutes, we will start officially at 1 p.m. Okay?
I need
So
the
I'll let
bathroom.
you. Yeah. Bathroom? Okay. It's private, I guess, right? Okay. See you. I'm waiting for all sisters to join. Nice to meet you again. Yes. Yes, I guess Lasita will join us in 5 minutes. We know Lasita, she's punctual. Yeah. Okay. Let's wait. Lynn will tell you about our today's subject, and we will start a debate about this common subject that we all live now in US, especially, and it's a subject that is so sensible all over the world. I will let Lynn tell you about today's subject. By the way, we celebrated yesterday and the day before our Eid al-Adha, which is the festival of sacrifice. It's a Muslim feast um, called in Arabic Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice, and we celebrate it every year. And inshallah, we'll tell more about the Islamic Muslim sacrifice or the festival of sacrifice. A beautiful day today in this summer. It's fresh and hot at the same time. Yeah, so peaceful here.
Just us.
Okay, Lynn. Well, wait. It's 12:58. You can start.
I'm not starting anything until people get here, Tofi. I'm not gonna waste
Okay, baby. Okay, that's fine.
my
Right away. Well, I'm only Lynn and I now online, and we're waiting for other ladies to join. Lasita is here.
Oh, good. Great.
Hello, Lasita.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi,
hi,
Lasita.
Lasita. Miss you.
Yeah. How are you doing, both of you?
We're great.
Oh, good. What was
Good,
this?
good.
What was the sickness, Lynn?
Yeah.
I had very bad cough and I couldn't talk because every time I talked I would start coughing. So it wound
Uh-huh.
up being like a strep throat
Hello.
and an ear kind of thing. And he gave me an antibiotic and that and the cough medicine helped it.
It did help it. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, thank God.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, look at that
Yeah.
background, Sanam. That's gorgeous. Where
Oh, I
is
didn't
that?
Yeah. Hello,
Okay.
Sanam.
It is, you know,
Hello,
a
Sanam.
lot of people talk about manifestation. So I am manifesting that we all are enjoying the ocean and summer,
Wow.
and a belated Eid Mubarak to everybody. And so far in New York, today looks very much like this, although I'm not near the water, but very sunny. So that's always
Yeah,
good.
it's warm. Today's
Same here
another
in
warm
Brooklyn.
day.
Yeah, yeah,
Same
yeah.
here in
Oh,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn should be, I guess. You know, it's funny because
Wow.
sometimes when I was in Manhattan, it would be maybe snowing a little bit, flurries, but nothing stuck. And then when I got to the Bronx, there would be maybe a couple of inches on the ground already of snow sometimes. So
Really?
yeah.
Today?
It's really
Today?
strange.
And it's
Today?
the same
Not
city. I
today.
don't understand, but
Wow. Yeah.
but
So you're on vacation, Sanam. You're on vacation. You're off.
no, no. I'm maybe I guess the best word would be I am pretending. So
Nah.
We got you.
I am
Okay.
pretending that I'm on, but yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, these last
Amazing.
couple of weeks, I believe after 2.5 years, I think I caught COVID. I think so. It was very
Oh, God.
strange. It was like, you know, and I think I'm past the thing, but there is like, the biggest thing for me was just like the fatigue of it. You know, it kind of like when I would go just walk and I would, you know, have to sit down a little bit after. And not that I'm like, you know, a marathon runner or anything, but, you know, but a good number of people have been getting it now around now too, for the first time, I think, or, you know.
They're up. I know that.
Yeah,
Heard that
yeah.
on the TV this morning. Okay, everyone. So let's get started because I'm really not sure who's coming and who's not. I have 2 topics, and you could choose whichever one you find better, or if you could suggest a better one, it's fine. One topic is holidays.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we must have. I thought that was upbeat a little bit compared to what we've been doing. And the other one is abortion and the abortion controversy. So what do you think? One?
Did Sanam know the topic already when she finished her speech?
No, she's just easy. She's just,
No, I did not. I don't believe the last time we met was, and I apologize if I'm not remembering right, but I don't think it was
Communication.
no.
We spoke about communication.
communication.
Yes, communication techniques and so, and I have to say those have been needed a lot these last couple of weeks with New York Cares, but at any rate,
Oh,
but yeah.
And they have the same projects up every week. They're not changing their projects at all.
Yeah.
So,
It's
what I did.
I'm not sure exactly what's, I mean, we can discuss that later if you wanted to, but there's a lack of basic communication. I don't even think communication techniques, but not so much between New York Cares and the volunteers, but New York Cares and the partners.
Yeah, I think so.
Like
Yeah,
there
I
was
think
a
so.
project where it was dealing with literacy, and it ended up being posted at the different time. They had put it as 4 to 6 when it's 6 to 8.
Oh,
And then
God.
it was actually a committed project, not a one-time thing. And that was, I only figured this out and learned about this because me and the other prospective team leader talked to the site leader. And
Okay.
that's the only way we find. I'm like, why? What happened that New York Cares wasn't told about all this? And and it was quite a little bit of a mess. But I think are
They were
going.
much stronger before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Okay, so let's get to today's topic because
yeah.
it's nothing about New York kids. So, what do you think, Lasita? Which topic, holidays or abortion? Or if you have a better topic, join in.
I want to have a happy making topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, just other than
Holidays.
holidays work for you.
Holidays work for me.
I'm not talking about you're the one who
I
gave
don't
it.
want to talk about abortion
Lasita?
because there's a lot of negative stuff. So
Okay,
Lasita
Lasita, what
is
do you,
right. Let's be positive and talk about holidays.
okay, what do you think,
Yeah.
Lasita?
Well, I decided I wanted to just relate to each other and be upbeat. So, but Sanam, you give your opinion too.
Sure. I think given the last couple of weeks in terms of 4th of July, Juneteenth, and this past these last few days with Eid al-Adha.
Yes.
Yeah.
The festival of sacrifice.
Mhm. So there have been a number of holidays, and I think what's interesting is that, and I think this is a good thing, is that, certainly there's an element that it's for children, like holidays in general, and certain ones especially. But also I think what's a good thing is that people take the time to also reflect and to, at least from what I can tell, I don't know if that's, if that is really true, but, they, like, for example, with 4th of July, they celebrate liberty. And I think what's interesting, and I guess this kind of ties in a little bit the abortion issue, but, people reflect on what that means, liberty, and what the best ways are to protect it and to exercise it. And, I think that there is a lot of, there's a lot to be said, in terms of the American experience too, I think, in terms of the Declaration of Independence and learning about that, and then learning about the people behind it as well. The good, bad, and ugly, I guess, But yeah, so that, I guess it's interesting. I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, as you get older, people reflect. So I guess I feel that way a little bit. That happens also sometimes with Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, some of them, like Halloween, maybe not as much reflection per se, but more just candy, but and costume. But yeah, so that, I guess, that's, holidays can, I think, mean a lot of different things. Sometimes they're solemn, sometimes they're celebratory and happy. So it's interesting thing.
The common stuff is that it makes everyone happy, and especially kids. I guess this is
Yeah,
what we should
yeah.
focus on. Make those innocent kids happy. There were, as you said, there were other reflection stuff on it, but holidays are happy, and holidays is a good thing to celebrate and to keep positive. That's it. So this is how I see it. Happiness and connections, especially connection between friends, and between family too. We noticed that these last years, especially with technology, we lost the family spirit. So these holidays, is a reflection of getting back to family, spirit for everyone, not only here in the US, but all over the world. Family spirit.
Okay, so I think that we're going to center, since we all agreed with this, we're going to center on holidays. And I want you to pick the most significant holiday, the holiday you enjoy the most, okay? And I'll start because I think I should start since I suggested this.
Okay.
It really was Tofik's topic, but I'm going to do my thing. I think to me, the topic that the holiday that means the most to me as a little girl, really all the time, would have been Thanksgiving. Why? Because people that you don't ordinarily see give, and they're thankful and they're grateful for what they have at that point. And I think that when you take the time to give back to anyone, it's a good thing. And I remember a couple of years before Tofi got here serving in a soup kitchen. And then when COVID came and everything else, I mean, we didn't even have company at the house. I had invited my cousin. Then eventually my friend Patrick came.
Yeah.
COVID made us appreciate the holidays, I think, in my opinion, even more, because we really couldn't see anybody. And it's the one way of, to me, Thanksgiving is the one way to give back, and giving back is my kind of thing. So I think that that's the reason. And like I said, we'll all choose one holiday. I choose Thanksgiving because it's a holiday that's not only about food, but it's about gratitude. And gratitude is the most important thing in the world. What holiday would you choose, Sanam?
I think that Thanksgiving honestly has to be right up there. And I think because of the word that you mentioned, gratitude.
Right.
Even if it's, and like you said, especially that first year, when with COVID, the adjustments people had to make, and just the connections alternatively that people had to make, really, I think showed a lot of people why those connections are important, and things that seem basic, going to your cousins or grandmothers for Thanksgiving dinner, that may be something that you took for granted being able to do, or what have you. And I think, me personally, also, I think Eid al-Fitr is a big one. And I guess similarly, because you take those lessons that you learn over like a month of fasting, where you kind of are in a different zone. You're trying to improve your character, and just by deed, and temperaments, you're trying not to, whatever it's similar in a way, I guess, similar to the Catholic tradition of Lent, where you give up something because just for your own act of discipline, and being able to focus on that. And I think at the end, not only being able to drink and eat and whatever, but also you feel a sense of accomplishment for having, tried your best this last month. And some days, some months during Ramadan, it may be day by day when people go through it, and, can I do it today? Am I able to, proceed with the traditions or whatnot. But I think like that whole notion of being able to kind of gain control of your character and hopefully become better. You don't curse as much, don't get angry as much, try and do all those things. That for me is always, I think, a good exercise.
Okay, great. What about you, Lita? What holiday do you want to feature?
I just first of all wanted to say, Sanam, I think you're a wonderful person, and I think that you're far along the path of self-improvement.
I hope. Thank you.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. I'm going to choose Hanukkah.
Oh, wonderful. What about
Wow.
Because I really like the succession of each night having more candles to light. And I like the prayer, but I also like the idea of bringing light into myself, so
Good.
that as I light the candles, I then take the light inside and hope to grow the light. So it's similar to Sanam, that it's a self-improvement holiday where one wants to get better. And I don't follow the rules of it. It's not like I can't do anything work-wise or read or anything while the candles are burning. I once visited some of my relatives in South Africa. I think my grandma's brother is a rabbi. He's now probably dead because this was many, many years ago. And he was telling me the rules of treating that light like a holy light and not using it for any purpose other than as spiritual light. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
It is
Great.
very interesting.
Interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Tofi.
Let me say my favorite holiday is, Thanksgiving and Eid al-Adha, the festival. No, Thanksgiving and Eid al-Adha. Why? It's similar, before I came here, I heard about Thanksgiving, and the only thing I remember I had about that is that Americans gather to have a turkey, and it's in history when Native Americans gather with the newcomers to the land and celebrate a meal together to make peace. This is what. When I came here, I discovered, or I saw many other stuff. I have been celebrating it every year because my wife is American and because I'm in the culture. And we have been in many other relatives and friends' homes during Thanksgiving, and they really love it. Well, because I'm actually celebrating our Thanksgiving as this festivals we are celebrating now. We celebrate it on Saturday, and in my country and most of Arabic countries are Muslim, they celebrate yesterday, and the feast lasts for 3 to 1 week. The point is that there was a connection between all faiths. And I like that. I love it because we are humans, and we are, before being different, we are together alike. Let me talk about Hanukkah. When my sister Lasita mentioned Hanukkah, we also celebrate, but we don't follow the rules, me and my wife, but we also lighten those candles, and the common positive connection here is we celebrate our own or others' feast to get peace, coexistence, and happiness. It's the light. The light is not always from a candle. The light is not always from let me say, a electric bulb or fireworks on July for it's the light that we have inside and we give it, we pass it by to others. And this is why I love Eid al-Adha and Thanksgiving. They are for me in the same, level. And I don't forget also that we Christmas. I love it too because we have the same Christmas in our faith, which is the birth of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. And Christmas is celebrating the birth of our Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, the Christ. So, fasting, let me go back to fasting. Ramadan, as Sister Sanam mentioned, is about fasting, about improving yourself, getting more patience, getting more support with poor people, people who don't eat, don't get a living, especially who maybe kept hunger the whole year. But by fasting, we show our support to those people, not only to others, especially poor people, but to ourselves. Let me say that we are full for the whole year, but in Ramadan, God sent us these lights. It's a light too, to experience support and hunger like those people. And in these three common, or let me say 4 feasts or occasions, Hanukkah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Ramadan, Eid al-Adha, the birth, the common stuff is that we show our gratitude, we show our love to anyone on this earth. And this is what I think about any holiday, especially between all faiths. We are one, and I love that.
Okay, thank you, Tofi. Another thing I would like to bring up before we talk about anything else is further topics so that I don't have to rack my brain every time we're going to have a meeting. I say to Tofik, what do you think? And then I give what I think. Let's talk about some things that communication went very well. But let's talk about some other topics that we can, and let them not all be topics that make us feel sad. Let's, like Lorraine said, let's add some light into our lives. And let's talk about topics that make us feel good. So let's take a minute to think so that I know for the future.
Yeah.
So in a way, maybe I need to know, I know you record these and you put them somewhere, and I don't know where, but we're just 4 people. And so it's like, are we trying to put out something that other people can benefit from? I mean, what is it? What is the purpose of our meeting? Yes.
Oh, I think that when I started this, the purpose was to the people benefit from what we're saying, what we're learning, and what we're discussing. So, but I got, when people stopped showing up, I got to the point where why should I share it with people who are not showing up? So it's really basically Tofi just sends the tapes to us. And that's what I think is happening, because the people that normally came still get invitations. If they don't show up, it's up to them.
And please, I want to mention something. I'm not negative at all, but I really feel bad when I sent at least 10 or 12, just last time. But before I sent almost 20 or 25 when everyone was there. But the thing is that it makes me crazy and make me feel sad is that now we are 4, and most of the time we are only 4. So I ask a question for those people. Why you don't just say we won't attend, or we will attend but later? But people are not punctual. People, I don't like this. If you want to join, just join, and even late. No, if you don't want to join, just tell us I won't join today. They have no intent. No, it's not a good manner. So I'm sorry. I don't want to be negative, but this makes me feel bad. And Lynn mentioned that before. And we are here to make a debate or to feel together, to give our love to others. We are not supposed here to gather for just showing up, and we are here to help each other and to make
I
people
spread the
connected.
way, pave the way.
I don't understand why no one reacted. I don't.
Because
I
they're
don't.
busy with what they have to do. I'm not going into that. But what I'm saying is
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of some new topics that we can do that will inspire us. Sanam,
So,
do you have an idea?
Well, I think in terms of what inspires me
Yeah.
is and this can be, people that I meet or even people that I read about or watch a documentary about or what have you. And I'm, to be honest, is interesting. I don't know if inspire is the right word, but I learned so much from everyone's experience. Like even a couple of, not even within my lifetime. Like if I'm learning about, I don't know how I got upon this actually, but there was an opera singer called Maria Callas. Way back when, and I'm learning about her life and just what she represented, and there may be a lot of, I guess, gossip or sensationalism about it all and everything, but there's a lot of I think adversity that she had to overcome in terms of her family and marriage and so forth. So even that, I don't like, I kind of view that as a lesson to me, because when we see a lot of people, we may never really know or appreciate exactly how much they're going through at any particular time. And so because of that, that inspires me to kind of be a little bit more cognizant of that when I view or interact with people, even if you're not a celebrity, right? Like you may be going through things. So to me, that sort of reinforces things. And, you always learn from other people. And also you kind of relate to people in that way when you hear their story. And, you realize that how things ended up for you or how you felt about a particular thing is not maybe so unusual or so abnormal. And so in that sense, I think I gain a lot and I learn a lot. And I guess in general, the human experience inspires me. People being able to overcome their tragedies and any adversity inspires me.
Excellent topic. Excellent. What about you, Lasita?
I think sharing what we're learning in our lives is a great idea as a topic.
And that you learned. I love that.
So that could be what we're reading, what we're studying, what we're experiencing. I wanted to share a lesson from the teacher Herman Rednick, and this is the spiritual group I go to, but there was something that Sanam said that seemed relevant to this lesson. The Holy Presence. When the Holy Presence is part of your life, you are not disappointed with experience. You know you are being taught. When the sacred presence is part of your breath, you want to touch everyone with love. You can see beyond the struggling personality in everyone you meet. Therefore, you do not judge anyone, and you know everyone is moving towards God. And it was like that idea that if we could really understand what people are going through, we wouldn't be judging them.
Very true. That was very beautiful, Lasita.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe that will be the next meeting, will be something like bring a lesson that you learned, and this is a perfect thing. It could be anything that we're learning, whether it's a book that we're reading or a class that we're taking or a meeting that we went to, regardless. I think that's a really good idea. What do you think, Tofi?
I agree with Lasita, because I'm speaking of myself. Sometimes I feel quite prejudging. In fact, I'm not prejudging anyone when I criticize someone because of missing the meeting, or I only express that because I love everyone. I love gathering with others, and prejudging is bad, yeah. But sometimes people should follow the rules, or should be honest to express themselves, or to just respect others' perspectives. That's it. So and it's a mistake that many of us commit. I'm speaking of myself. The big mistake that we make is that we prejudge others without knowing them. Thank you, Lasita, for reminding me. And yeah, I try to not prejudge anyone. I don't do in general, but I just love everyone, and I would like that everyone will be involved in what we are showing here. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for the advice. Never
Okay,
prejudge.
so we know that the next time will be bring a lesson that you learn. That'll be in 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
So we stick with Lasita's meetings, schedules. And one other thing before we close, or before we say anything else.
Sweetie, you want
Just
to
a minute,
close?
let me talk.
You want to close all
No,
the
I'm
time
not. I'm
earlier.
going to give
Let's
other people a chance to
enjoy.
talk about other things. Just let me. The point of what I'm trying to say is the book, Mr. Wright's
Mhm.
Fights for Stricter Gun Laws. Sanam, I got your article. I'm going to try to use it. I'm not sure how I can use it. And I'd like more of personal opinions. You know what I mean? Because that's I'm at the end of the book. More of a personal opinion of what you think, why should it happen, and that kind of thing. I think that's very important. And I think that's
Lynn,
how we feel. Yes.
yeah, tell us more about the books you're writing now. You are
Well, I wrote the basic Mr. Wright story, which starts with Mr. Wright and his students,
okay.
bring in information all about gun laws, and why aren't they strict enough? And he brings in policemen, and he brings in other people, and he takes the time to try to show them, despite the fact that the parents aren't always so happy, because some parents have guns in the house. He's trying to show them why there should be stricter gun rules.
Yeah. And by the way,
And,
Mr. Wright says,
and Mr. Wright is a hero to many. He solved a lot of problems, but I think that this book is very important.
Yeah.
Because of what's going on around us, which we haven't discussed. We discussed it once, and I think that was probably enough. So I just for calling out for anyone helping, for anyone like Sanam, even Lasita, if you can just send a page or whatever. There's no specific amount of time. It doesn't really matter. Take your time and send how you feel about the whole situation, and that will help a great deal.
Lynn, go ahead, Tofi.
Go ahead, Sanam.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna mention, I feel like since we last discussed this, there have been more tragedies that have occurred. And what bothers me is that, and I can only go, I guess, by news reports. I don't know official information in that regard. But what bothers me is that so often there, almost every situation, there have been, I don't know if the right term is warning signs, or there is some indication that this young man needs some sort of either assistance, intervention, something. And it would also, and I think, parents also, and I'm not a parent, so it's, maybe it's not for me to judge, but for example, in this shooting that happened, there was apparently a situation where the one over 4th of July weekend in suburb Chicago. Yeah, suburb Chicago. Apparently
during the parade, can you imagine this? Someone shooting people celebrating 4th of July. During the parade, it's crazy.
I know,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, no,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. Yeah, I personally, I'm right there with you. I don't understand, you know, and we all are human. We all maybe have anger. We all may have whatever, but to get to that point, I'm with you, Tofik. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. But,
It's wacko.
yeah,
And
and like in that situation, apparently there had been an interaction with law enforcement where they came and took knives away from him because he had threatened either his family or himself and so forth. Now, how is it that he could have access to guns?
That
Yeah.
was my question for the whole thing.
uh,
Somebody
I
like
don't understand. I mean,
started
and
talking about mental
apparently
health.
legally as well. And I'm not understanding how one, and look, you know, apparently with the new technology of building them at home, which as a matter of fact, I think this might have been the way the gun that was used to kill the former prime minister of Japan.
Right.
Oh my
It was
God.
like a
Another
homemade one.
tragedy.
That was you know, quite shocking, you know, and I don't know what the security protocols were there, but you know, I mean, it was quite disturbing. But you know, I'm wondering if we as you know, and not only parents, but people who know these young people growing up, you know, what is our role to be kind of more involved and more honest about, like, if we see certain signs. You know, I was talking with someone that they were in a relationship. They weren't legally married, but they were in a relationship with someone who has grandchildren, and he is still involved in his ex-girlfriend's grandchildren's lives. He's like a grandfather to them and everything. And, you know, I said to him, you know, I feel like no matter what happens, and I know everyone may have a different view and opinion, and that's totally fine, but young people, they deserve as much support as they can get, you know. So even if the relationship didn't work,
Mhm.
if you can be a positive force, positive influence, role model, support system, why shouldn't those children have that? You know, like there's so little of that in the world that I think, you know, like even as an aunt or auntie, you know, like a family friend aunt, you know, I feel like I can, you know, hopefully I want to consider and think about what I can do to kind of either, you know, help a child not get to that point. And as far as I know, luckily, you know, I don't know anyone who would get to that point of the tragedy, to commit such a tragedy as happened in suburb Chicago. But you know, just because you know, that period of, you know, I guess, you know, 18 to 22, college age, about to, you know, young adulthood, is so, I think, even under the best circumstances, is so turbulent. Yeah, and you know, I don't know how, but I think if we all consider like how we can kind of help guide them, or at least try and be some sort of support system for them, you know. And I don't know if in these situations what happened, but what bothers me is that the parents after the fact seem that they said, you know, we could have never predicted this, but there were, I mean, respectfully, and you know, I don't see how that can be true when you have situations where, like a year ago, I think the shooter in Buffalo, a year ago, he had issues with law enforcement.
And nobody did anything about it, so he still has issues. So how are they
Yeah.
helping him?
Yeah.
I want,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I wanna mention something that is, yes, you're right. Those young people, those teenagers should have support, and a lot of stuff must be done. But don't forget that the root, or let me say, the evil reason of this is officials. I mean, and Lynn mentioned that in her. There was a video that we did and posted in our organization website, and she mentioned that. She said that the root of all these evil shootings is the official. We should not change the rules of guns rules, but
We need to change the rules.
yeah, we need. And look, they did it, but they didn't really solve it. The Democrats are trying to push and to make these rules change it, but in the other side, the Republicans, I don't believe in parties, but the whole community, the whole society, American society, they should focus on that. And if we don't solve these dilemma, this problem high, I mean, from the officials, they are most responsible, especially NRA or RNA. Those NRA are responsible. And who is behind the NRA? The officials, the parties, the politicians. We should not judge or prejudge our young teenagers. They are, in my opinion, whether they killed it was a crime in Buffalo, in Texas, in Chicago. Yes, it was a crime. But don't forget, we have the solution. Those officials and the NRA should before I said that we should stop guns, we should eradicate. But to be fair and to be logical, we cannot do that. Gun laws in U.S. has a so deep history since cowboys and since a long time. We can't just come and eradicate guns and take. No, we should be wise. We should be logical to decrease, to um, make these gun rules more easy and focus on officials. I think the most danger comes from those people who allow NRA, who make those young people, those seniors, commit what they're committing now. So especially when their kids killed. Let
Okay.
me say in another way. Don't you think that those sharks, I mean, NRA or the politician behind this, they don't have kids, they don't have their own family
They
who
have
will
their own
be,
families.
they
They will.
have, but nothing is done. So I agree with you, Sanam. But I have pity on those teenagers and these young people.
Okay.
They should
To
have,
have,
but
right.
officials, and we can really solve this definitely. Decrease the onus of guns, change the rules. That's it.
Well, that's what we've been trying to say. But the point is, it's not only changing the rules. It's once you get the person, like Sanam was saying, who got into this thing with knives years ago. Other
Hmm.
than only removing the knives, that person should have had mental health care. There should have been people going in to talk to that person. He should have been in sort of an institution being rehabilitated. It's like any other sickness. These people, I understand that everyone hates them. And yes, you want to see the worst for them, but they have a basic problem. Until we start addressing mental health the way that we should, there are not going to be solutions. Because if you just, like Saddam said, if you just see somebody who had guns and I had knives, and so you take away the knives, and now the person has a gun, there should be a red flag up, like the red flag laws. That if that person is cited as somebody who is mentally ill, who should not be carrying a weapon for some reason, they shouldn't be allowed to get a weapon. And yet it's still being done. And that's what the problem is. Until we can enforce more mental health care, I don't think that there's anything else that we can do to stop this.
Yes.
They need mental health care. That's what we need to raise a more awareness, and we've been raising a lot lately as compared to the years of the snake pit and things like that. There's more mental health awareness more than ever before, but not enough. And I think that that's what we have to, you know, I see everybody shaking their head. That's what we have to raise awareness about that. So,
I think so. I mean, I think we've made a good amount of progress,
oh
but
yes,
there still is such a stigma, I think, unfortunately. And, you know, I guess, you know, we have to look at how our actions may have either, you know, been complicit or led to this. And, you know, similar to advocacy about guns, advocacy about mental health and mental health care certainly is an important issue that we need to keep in the forefront.
okay, now I'm going to fill you in on two things.
There was-
Oh, go ahead, Lasita, you
Sorry.
talk first.
There was
Um,
something I read which was kind of crazy making about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And
Oh,
she
God.
was saying there was no shooting at the pride parades, but then there's a shooting at when the patriots are out on a parade. Therefore, it has to be a left-wing person. And this is probably especially happening so that we'll change the gun laws. And
Oh.
it's like, excuse me.
Well, she's altogether in left field. She's nuts. You can't go by anything she says.
Right.
She's
But
so left.
it was just like, how can people who are on that side not just say, hey, there's something wrong here. Maybe we do have to change the gun laws.
There are a lot of things wrong here.
Yeah.
And I think the red flag law, which would show us the problems that they had before,
Yeah.
I think that law could be something that's really important, because that law would be the law that would might stop us from selling arms to somebody like that. But then again, we can't get through to every gun dealer. And in the South, you have a real problem. In the South and in the Deep West, they believe in guns. They live with guns. Their kids, when their kids are born, they start them very young. And it's a very dangerous thing that I really don't see unless enough people get on board. And just as an aside, because I don't think Tofi knows this, the NRA gives kickbacks, gives a certain amount of money back to every government official who supports
Okay.
them. And I'm just trying to think who the person was. Oh, Kathy Hochul,
Okay.
our new governor, had supported the NRA because she was getting plenty of money from them. And then when she changed, yeah, it was all over the papers. And then when she changed, 2 years later, she decided to change her mind, probably because she thought she couldn't win if she was supporting them after everything that's happening. Then she got more votes. But my point is, the NRA endorses through monetary means. And that's a big deal to most politicians.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think in
Sure.
our political system, because you were mentioning in terms of Kathy Hochul and other politicians, you know, the support they receive versus their actions that they take policy-wise, and I guess this ties into the abortion matter too. Do you think that there's an element where people want to, in terms of the party establishments, want to keep the issue alive? Like, for example, with abortion, for a segment of the Republican Party, that might have been something to keep there just so that they can use it as a wedge issue, as a initiative. I don't know. I don't know how we can prevent that, but that might be something
It's something to really think about. That is food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this a video that you were mentioning, Tofi?
Yes, this is the video. I
Yeah.
can share, please. I can share here, if you don't mind, Lynn. I'm
How
sharing
long
it, please.
How long is it?
Just a little bit. Okay, so
Okay.
important speech. Okay, go ahead. You can watch and listen. Tell me yes or no.
So far, I don't see anything. Tofik, nothing is happening.
The connection, I guess. Okay, forget it.
They can go to the website. They can see it. Put our faces back
Yes,
on.
yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lynn.
It's
Continue. Go ahead.
easier if people individually go to the website and see it instead of
Yeah,
spending.
sure. Yeah,
Right.
you're right.
If it
Okay.
isn't for work, that would be fine. Can we get back to the original screen?
Sure,
Tofik?
sure. I'll go in back there.
So I think that we have a lot to think about. And once again, I'm going to plead with you to give me a page or two for the book.
Mhm.
To me. And anybody who has anything to say, Sanam, you have a lot to say, and I'd like to just hear more of your personal opinions in your writing than what somebody else said. You know?
I probably always have too much to say, but yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
not at
No,
all.
and honestly, I love
Article, I want
you know,
your-
even if no one else watches these, like I do feel, and maybe partly because for the most part I'm still working from home and you know, still feel a little bit of that isolation. You know, being and I miss your project, Lynn, with Bernadette and everyone, you know.
Oh, hopefully September.
Okay, I'll look for it. I'll look for it for sure.
I'll let you know. I'll send you an email as soon as I see it.
Yeah. And yeah, so this has been and like, you know, I not only, you know, me talking, but also learning from you guys, you know, through your opinions and experiences, I think for me has been very helpful. Yeah, I think
We've learned a lot from you, and that's what this is all about. What we can learn from other people. I think that's the most important thing that we could say. Does anybody else have anything else to say, or is that it?
Well, it looks like Tofi dropped off.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Oh, here he is.
He's
He's
back.
here.
Okay.
Our internet is not always that wonderful either. Sometimes it goes on, sometimes it goes off.
Do you guys have, does anyone have good vacation plans for the summer?
Nothing yet.
Not
Stay
yet.
home.
Yeah.
No plans.
I'm
for the
afraid to
moment.
travel yet. I'm not 100% sure that it's the right thing to do.
I was going to show people my drawings today.
Yeah, great.
Wow.
This
Wow.
this
Keep
is
it
the first
close,
one.
closer.
This is the
wow.
first one.
Oh my God.
And the second one is this one.
What's the
Wow.
subject?
And
Just
at the moment, I've gone into colored pencils, and the third one I'm still working on. So we have some
You're amazing.
extra space.
what's the common idea about these three drawings? What's the common idea?
It's just a way of keeping my hands busy, and
Wow.
that keeps me alert, so that
Great.
sometimes I can fall asleep when I listen to things. I'm not implying that you lot are
I know,
boring,
exactly.
but
You know,
it's just a way of keeping me alert and
You know what?
creating something.
Okay,
know
I'll
what,
keep it alert
Lisa?
for another.
You know
I'll
what?
keep it alert for
you
another.
are just wonderful. I will tell you again. Those drawings, you can gather them in a file. And I told you that, I will say it again. I can make a special video, mixing a video about all your drawings and send it to you free
interesting.
if you would like to.
Okay, that's something for her to think about. That's personal.
Okay,
Yeah.
think about it.
At the moment, they're serving some purpose for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Good.
Okay,
Wonderful.
let me fill you in on two people and two different things that are happening, and the reason why two people are not in our group. Let's start off with Miss Shirley.
Yeah.
Shirley's brother got a lot worse than he was before, and they had to have him removed. He's now in a hospital where they see that he has all kinds of different things wrong with him because of all the drinking. So
yeah.
Shirley is basically going back and forth, and they can't have him back at the house because it became very dangerous. Eventually, he'll be in some sort of a rehab position, and I think he's not in a very good place in his life. So let's still pray. The other person I can fill you in on a little, I don't have a lot to tell you because she isn't telling me a lot, is Leah. The other day I had to go on WhatsApp, and there she was. I just thought to myself, oh my God, let me try calling her. Maybe I can get some sort of a connection. And I did, and we spoke for quite a while. She still has the symptoms of long-term COVID. And she's dealing with, she said one day she'll surprise us and she'll show up, not to show her face, but just to listen to what people have to say. Well, we'll
Yeah.
I just wanted you all to know what's going on with them. And Christine Yakama, I read something on Facebook that she's somewhere in London doing something. I don't know if it was some kind of a women's group thing. So I'm sure that when she does come back, she'll have a lot to teach us.
So just for Sanam, have you ever met Leah in our meeting? Leah? No.
Don't
Yes.
believe so, but I do apologize because I
We
sometimes
can
I'm-
tell you about her. She's a
Yeah.
wonderful
And
sister.
now Leah was way before Sanam.
was she okay?
So
Mhm.
she's a wonderful lady from UK, Wales, and she has been part of all our meeting. I just want to tell you that her name is Leah, and she may come back to our meeting. Wonderful
Well, yeah,
lady.
She
I
was
hope she
so active. And
Yeah,
then
she-
when she got sick, it really changed everything.
Well,
my
it
God.
doesn't change everything. When you're sick, you wind
She
up in
has
that
a
and
special
move.
heart. She's so kind, and
Wonderful, a wonderful person. But I just wanted to fill Lasita on what's going on with that and tell you about Christine too. Okay, everyone. I think we spent our hour together, and it was go. So we know our next thing is bring a lesson that you learned. It could be any lesson. That was a really good idea. Any lesson that you learned. Okay.
Okay.
Have
Love
a
you.
great week. We love you.
Have a good
all.
day.
We'll
Thank
speak
you,
to
ladies.
Bye.
Be
Bye.
well,
Thank you.
everyone. Have a great one.
Happy Eid.
And happy
Assalamu
Dry
alaikum.
Mitzvah and have a great
Assalamu
rest of
alaikum.
the
Bye-bye.
day. Bye now.